So for this video, we're going to take a look at the Three of Pentacles. And this is a card that's really about collaboration, working as a team, getting a goal accomplished. But you'll notice on the card, we'll look at the RWS card here first, that you have three people that are talking. And so the stonemason here is doing the physical labor. We have a monk that's giving advice, and then an architect that has the plans. And they just have different roles, but they still, like I said, have that same goal of getting this thing accomplished. Now, one of the things that stands out to me is what the architect is wearing. The architect is wearing what's called a lyra pipe. And it just kind of places emphasis on his role of planner. Now, no matter what the role is, everyone there is important. And that's one thing to remember when you get this card in a reading. This reading is basically saying that if you're working as a team, everyone's important. There's always something that you're contributing. Nothing's going to be able to be left out. I like on the Tarot of Physics how it has these gears, and it places emphasis on this because gears, they have different shapes. There's different sizes. These are moving in different directions, but ultimately they're going to make this thing move or make some sort of machine operate. And if one thing happens that throws this off, the whole thing falls apart. So I like that card for that. So let's look at a little bit more about the energy of this card, the astrology of this card. Where does that come from? And if we look at the Thoth system, we can see a couple of symbols here. The first symbol we see is a symbol for Mars. So that's the planet that this card is associated with. And then we have Capricorn down here at the bottom. So that means that because this card is associated with Mars, it's also connected to the Emperor card. The Emperor is about planning, organization, structure, leadership. Those are all things that tie into this as well, working as a team. So teams sometimes have leaders. So they have people that plan, people that organize, all those things. So that fits. On each of these wheels that are on the corners of this pyramid on the Thoth card, they have symbols on them. Now, one of those symbols was the symbol for the Emperor. And I'll show you that symbol right here on this card. So this is the Three of Pentacles from the Tabula Mundi, which is Thoth based. And you can see that right here at the top, we have the symbol for sulfur. And that symbol is connected to the Emperor card. So the Emperor, if we look at how he's sitting on this card, he's sitting and he's forming that actual symbol with the shape of his body. The way his legs are crossed, the way his arms are, you can see that shape. Now, there are some other cards here that are also related to these alchemical symbols. So that symbol in the middle is the symbol for salt in alchemy, and that's connected to the Empress card. You can see that she's kind of forming that shape with her arms. So these two cards, when they collaborate together, they form something new. So this is the story of collaborating to create. And the last symbol on here, down here at the bottom, is the symbol for Mercury, which is the symbol for the Magus. And we know that that symbol or this card is really, the root of this card is about creative energy, manifesting, and forming something new. So embedded within this Three of Pentacles card is the whole idea of collaboration. It tells that story of collaboration within it. And I found a few decks that really do a good job of putting that into perspective and discussing that a little bit further. One of those is the Science Tarot, which always seems to come up in my videos because it has such a great connection with the way its ideas are expressed. And we have a water molecule. So again, we have two things here. We have oxygen and hydrogen. They come together and they form water. So you have two unique things. And then their product, water, is very different. And that tells us something else. It tells us that the things that we create can be very different from ourselves. They can have different roles. They could have different functions. We might agree with it. We might not agree with it. For example, if we go back to the RWS card here, the stonemason, he may not even be religious. He may just be getting paid. He might just enjoy the work that he does. But after he's done, when he leaves here, this whole building may take on a role and a whole identity of its own and really just have its own unique purpose. And whether he agrees with that or not, it's still a part of what he created. I also like on the Marielle how it kind of does something similar. It has a couple here and a child. And so again, with children, they can have some of our traits and characteristics, and then they can have some traits that are very different and unique. We might agree with them, we might not. Now I want to move into another card here, and this is the Three of Pentacles from the 78 Tarot Mythical. And I like this one because it uses these dwarves on here, and dwarves are known for their ability to create, their ability to make tools, to make buildings, to make all kinds of unique items that are legendary. They're known in Norse mythology for their creations and their ability to fix things and to solve things. And in fact, this directly relates to the element that's tied to the Three of Pentacles. Now, the element that's tied to the Three of Pentacles is called thorium. And that relates to the deity that I want to talk about that it's named after, which we probably know and can tell by the name of the element is Thor. Thor's brother, Loki, the god of mischief, decided one day to cut off Thor's wife's hair because he knew that Thor loved his wife's hair and that it would irritate him. And that's kind of what Loki does. He just kind of irritates people and just, I don't know if he just gets bored or what, but that's what he does. But he cuts off all of her hair, and then when Thor saw this, he was furious at Loki, and he said he was going to break every bone in his body if he didn't fix this. So Loki was thinking of a way that he could fix it, and he goes to the dwarves, and he asked them if they could make a head of hair for Thor's wife. And they said, sure, yeah, they could make a head of hair for her. And so they went to work. They made several different items, and one of them was this amazing head of hair that was very beautiful. Thor's wife was happy with it, and he solved that problem. But in the process, he saw another group of dwarves, and he thought to himself, how can I take advantage of this situation? And he goes to this other group and he says, hey, I bet you guys can't make some better items than this other group. They made these things for me. I bet you can't outdo them. So they got, I guess, competitive, and they thought, okay, we'll get together as a team and we'll make some items even better. And they start working on these items, and of course, Loki gets bored and he decides that he wants to cause problems. So he turns himself into a fly, and he starts biting the dwarves as they're working. And so that creates this struggle or these challenges that come up when we're working as a team. We run into all kinds of issues, but we have to solve them together. As the story goes, just to kind of finish it up, the hammer that one of the dwarves was working on, it didn't get, I guess it wasn't complete because Loki bit him on the eye and he couldn't really see. So the handle of it was way too short and it just wasn't complete. Nevertheless, that was perfect for what Thor wanted. Now, sometimes when we're making things and we're working as a team, things may not come out like we think they should, but that doesn't mean that it's not a good thing. There are so many things in life that are flawed or have some sort of unique quality that wasn't intended that are worth more because of that flaw. Like something that was printed upside down, or something that has some sort of dent on it or broken piece that has a story behind it. Now, Thor's hammer, because it had that small handle, it happened to work really well with what he wanted to do, to use it as a weapon. And it became legendary. The hammer's name is Mjolnir for lightning. And it was one of his most prized possessions. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Will. This is Atypical Tarot. And I'll see you next time.